Kaboosh. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Famous Seamus, the host of the Tuesdays with Mary podcast. We are a 420-friendly podcast designed to eliminate the stigma that stoners are dumb. If you enjoy interesting subject matter discussed with a humorous intent, this show is for you. So come pack your bowls, roll your blunts and joints, and spark up with some Tuesdays with Mary for some higher learning. Find us wherever podcasts are available. Thanks for listening. Peace, love, and harmony.
Yeah, man, it's time to dive into another great beverage. It's Dudes with Brews on a Porch. Gonna check in with my friend Drew for this week's episode. Who's he gonna talk to? What are they gonna talk about? And what are they gonna drink? What are you waiting for? Get your ass off the lawn and come on to the porch. It's Dudes with Brews.
Which one? I started to read it like a long time ago, and I never really finished it. Have you finished it?
Many times.
You've read it many times. It's a hard read.
That's a book I buy every time I see it. I have many
Oh, really? You don't have just one overall copy of it?
I always ended up giving it away, so like I bought that book like probably 10 times, and I've got like 3 copies I think right now.
Yeah, I picked it up because as a recommendation of everyone in your household.
Many of them have not read it.
Well, your brother's band was based off of it. House of Leaves. It's a weird book.
He's also, I don't think he's finished it either.
It's very hard to follow. There's a lot of footnotes. There's a lot of.
It's a great book, but it's a heavy read. Yeah,
for sure. It's not your easy read. But Robert Phillips joins us. I stumble on a word. It's been a while since I've stumbled on a word, I think.
I just listened to the Flat Earth.
Oh yeah,
that one was there were some good there's some good bloopers in there. We had been drinking a little bit, so that was the second episode we recorded in two episodes in one night. Yeah. And because it was the night of the snowstorm, so we really didn't have anything going on. I wasn't going anywhere. That's why that came up so much in that episode, I guess.
Yeah. So it was a little behind on it, or in the timeline. People might have been like, "Holy crap! It's been like snowing in Wisconsin for 3 weeks." Really, it was just one night.
Yeah.
But we're trying something a little different tonight. We're gonna be drinking some Brewery Vivant Strawberry Rhubarb Sour. 5% alcohol, NA on the IBU. It's sour, so it's not going to be really that bitter. It's going to be sour. This is from Grand Rapids, Michigan, so that's pretty cool. We're hitting up our neighbors to the north and to the east. We have, Michigan broken up in 2 different states. Or things.
Can you say that they're our neighbor to the east?
Yeah, they're over the lake, right?
Yeah, but so we technically, the lake is our neighbor.
And then our, neighbors to the north for sure. They're connected up top. Yeah. It's a Belgian Weiss beer soured with barrels of that have been aged with strawberries and rhubarb. So usher in spring with this light and bright sour ale. Take a bottle home to enjoy with your friends. I got this through I think it's called Tavor. It's an app where you log on and it lists different beers every single day. Like every couple of hours, it gives you a new option, and they're only up, I think, for like 24 hours. You can choose what you want to buy. You buy per bottle, you pay per bottle, and then every month and a half, whatever's in your crate, they ship to you. So I decided to do this to try to get some beers that I might not be able to have access to. The problem is I went to Woodman's like a month or so ago, and I found some of the ones that they said that weren't in my area. Ooh. But they were in my area. It's not necessarily the cheapest thing to do. A lot of people do use this app, and I have plenty of beers. I picked up, I don't know, maybe 7 different kinds of beers off this app. I don't know how much it cost me total, but I think if I did the math, it would not be a good feeling.
Yeah, you don't want to get into numbers here.
Yeah, don't want the numbers there, but so this is a sour.
It smells good.
We're
drinking out of glasses.
It does smell, we're drinking out
very
of fancy glasses.
Saturday night.
Because this was a 500 milliliter bottle, so I didn't want to share the bottle with you. No offense.
Well, but I take no offense, and I understand completely.
It's It's pretty cloudy. It's a cloudier beer. It's a little lighter, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, so to anybody out there, it's Saturday night with The Incredibles on mute.
It's tart.
Strawberry.
Just so you know, sour means sour.
Oh wow, yeah.
This is the second sour we had. We had an Oso sour before. I think I probably taste the rhubarb more than I do the strawberry.
Yeah, that's problematic for me. It's still not bad.
It's not bad, no. It's a little bubbly. It's like when you were a kid and it's New Year's Eve and you got that bottle of sparkling wine or whatever, the fake shit, the Welch's stuff. That's what it reminds me of.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I can definitely see this being like if you're in a situation where you're only going to have one or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not bad though.
Like you're not. I wouldn't recommend drinking this to get drunk or.
No, especially not at 5%. I mean, 5% you're gonna.
I didn't even hear that, but.
Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of a sour tum tum after.
Yeah.
If you're trying to put those down and.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was one they got the app that at first I had to get put on the waiting list because it had sold out really quick. So I was like, oh, maybe it'll be good. And I know New Glarus just released one too that was same thing, a strawberry rhubarb sour. I haven't tried it, but
yeah,
I figured we'd give our homies in Michigan a shot to do it. I've only been to the UP a couple times, and that was to gamble when I was 18 or 19 years old.
I remember when you guys all went up there. Yeah,
it's a good time.
What was that place called? Pete's or no?
It was Island Resort.
Oh,
Island Resort.
Where's the place that Ryan went to? It's a guy's name. It's like a name. I thought just somebody's name.
People used to call it like the Chip In or something like that. Chips In or something.
Oh, Chips In. That's it. Yeah.
It's called the Island Resort and Casino in Escanaba.
Really had a whole different, like saying what like the actual name is conjuring up a completely different image now.
Yeah,
I really was like picturing you guys going to some like back cabin.
No, it was legit.
Casino, like
I remember when the first time we went there we were 18. We were all 18 because in Michigan you can be 18 to gamble. Wisconsin got to be 21. We walk in, they give us our IDs. They give us like a different color wristband because we're 18. We can't drink or whatever, but we can do everything else. And people are like. Straight up asked us, "Are you allowed to be in here?" I was like, "Yeah, this is the law." So,
well, I got the last time I went to the casino. I want to say maybe it was Kashina. I think it was Kashina with my grandma.
Kashina?
Yeah, up in Kashina. Okay. I don't know. I know them by where they are or whatever.
Yeah,
because that's how my grandma remembers them. But I got carded 3 different times. Like,
oh, really?
I think when we went to the Milwaukee Music Fest, Summerfest. That's it. Sorry, I'm out of it.
Me too, man. I'm tired.
The Milwaukee Music Fest.
It's the world's largest music festival, as they say.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like
this year's the world's most disappointing music festival.
I thought there was somebody good playing there.
Social Distortion's playing, which I would like to see. I've never seen them live, and I think that'd be a good show. That's really all I'm interested in.
I like the the little venues.
Social D is not playing on the amphitheater stage. Yeah. They're playing on one of the many side stages.
I mean, even the small side stage.
Yeah.
Like local bands and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool people there. But I went there, 3 or 4 years ago, so that's still 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
And literally within walking with a Bud or something, it would have had to have been a Bud Light or a Miller because I don't drink Budweiser, so I'm trying. It doesn't matter what beer it was, but it was beer, and me with a beer is like apparently light to a fucking mosquito or whatever.
Yeah.
Like freaking security had me. I was surrounded by security. Yeah,
it was interesting because I think it was the last time I was at Summerfest. I went with Josh, and they have I think it's called AJ Bombers. It's a burger place. It's really, really good, and they have a stand there. So we're waiting to get our food or whatever, and there's like an altercation going on to my left or so, and the dude's got a fucking knife behind his back. He's like opening it up or whatever, arguing with this guy, and there was cops right there.
Argument too?
Yeah, there was like an altar, like they were like, like inches apart or whatever, talking smack, this and that, and the dude's got like a knife hidden behind his back, like a pocket knife, a butterfly knife or whatever.
Kudos to him for not having a gun, I guess.
Well, yeah, whatever, I guess. But I told the cops there, right like feet away, and they didn't do anything. They just sat there. And then another person came up.
Well, it's a lot, that's because it wasn't a young-looking, fully grown man with a beer.
Right. Right.
That's what they got to get on.
But it was, I was like, we gotta get out of here. I got our food, and we went to go see Direct Hit play, and it was a good time. And then we left. So I always have an exit path that works every time. You beat the whole crowd. It's awesome.
Don't advertise that here.
I won't. No one will ever find out. I don't know how many people in the Milwaukee area listen to, but if you're ever in the Milwaukee area during Summerfest, I definitely recommend going. You can't win them all. Can't win me every year,
You'll find somebody you like there,
for sure,
no
absolutely.
matter what. But you might have to walk for a while to find it,
Yeah, and you can always check the lineups and everything like that too. But
I guess it's like, you're probably not going to go through the gate if you can't find somebody on the lineup,
right.
But you'll find somebody else that you've not heard of.
Yeah, I've heard of. Because when we would go, depending on who the headliner is that night, whoever on the stage, a lot of times I've seen Alkaline Trio quite a bit there, and I've seen like the Offspring quite a bit there, and we always go at they don't play till 10 o'clock at night, but we get there at noon so we can get really like front row spots.
Yep,
and we watch all the other bands play, which is kind of nice. And I've discovered a couple bands that way, like the Henry Clay People. It's a really cool, like old school, just like rock and roll band.
Yeah, it sounds like a folky rock band.
No,
I'm
really
not saying
folky.
it is.
Yeah,
that's what it conjures up.
Unfortunately, they're not around anymore, but they were really good. Check them out if you haven't. They're really good. They got like 3 or 4 full length albums out there, so plenty of stuff to listen to. But yeah, that's a cool way to discover music. I always like coming across new bands that you end up listening for, a long time, and it's always a lot of fun. So.
I went there with my parents and we saw the Flaming Lips and Roger Waters, and what ended up being a really good show, and don't knock them till you've seen them or whatever, but the Bare Naked Ladies. I
like the Bare Naked Ladies. They got good tunes.
Oh, for sure they do. That's the first concert I ever went to, was Bare Naked Ladies concert.
It doesn't surprise me. Your mom's a big Bare Naked Ladies fan.
Well, I didn't realize they were a band, but
yeah,
my mom says, I'll go with. That's fine. It's not awkward.
Yeah. Well, I think the only concert I've ever gone with my mom to was Styx at the county fair when I was like 10 years old.
Well, yeah, and I don't understand this rule, but I was going to see Thursday with Mike and all his friends, but for some reason I feel like I had to go to a concert with my parents before they'd let me go to a concert by myself. I
remember it was a big deal. We were all going to the rave. This would have been our freshman year in the summer. So the summer of freshman year, to go see Angels and Airwaves and Taking Back Sunday. And your mom wouldn't let Ryan go, but he went anyways. And he lost his shoes, one of his shoes.
Ryan is the only... Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, how do you...
He'd probably hear this podcast, but he's lost his phone already.
He didn't lose his phone. He texted me a couple days ago. But he has lost his phone. He's lost his wallet. He's lost his keys.
He's lost everything you can lose, even parts of his ear.
His cauliflower ear.
Yeah, that's a wrestling.
It's so disgusting. I remember when it wasn't hardened yet, and I'd squeeze it. And I'm like, dude, let's just take care of this. Polko, just let me squeeze
Drain
it till a squeeze won't fix. But yeah, other than that, man, lately I've just I've hit a wall.
Not going to see shows
of exhaustion.
Yeah,
I saw a show. The last show I went to was actually not that long ago. It was in April, and we went. It was April 21st. No, was it 21st? I don't know. It was in April. I went to go see the Lillingtons, which is a band that doesn't come around a lot, at a venue in Madison called The Frequency, which there's a show there tonight of a band I really wanted to see, but with the wife out of town and everything, obviously I'm here, which is I'd kind of rather be here right now anyways. But the problem was, with the whole third shift life, it was a Friday night show. No, it was a Thursday night show. So I did take a day of vacation, and I didn't go to sleep until my wife got home
when you did this,
at 3:30. So she got home at 3:30, and then I slept till 5 o'clock, and then we got up and left.
As a third shifter, you can really figure out the limits of your endurance. What you can do on an hour of sleep is amazing.
Yeah, so I was up for. I slept an hour and a half over the course of almost 30 hours.
Yeah, there's no way a first shifter would do it.
Right, and
no offense to first shifters, it just doesn't lend
you
itself.
Don't got the will.
Like even when I'm home on the weekends, 3 o'clock in the morning is a hard time to get through, even if as a third shifter when we're normally awake. So I'm not, but when your nighttime is daytime, it's so easy to just keep putting off going to sleep. So, I'm enjoying these bands. They're all playing. They're all good. And I'm just sitting, I'm like right by the sound booth, which the frequency is not a big place. If it's probably like from my living room and to kitchen and back. That's honestly it. It's not very big. Yeah, but your place is huge.
I don't want to say it's huge, but
I'm just.
But
this podcast is paying a hefty. Is giving Drew some luxuries here.
I'm plugging free apps like Tavour, and it's Tavour. Is that how you would?
Yeah,
Tavour.
Tavour. I would say Tavour, especially since tavern.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, but. Anyways, all the bands are good that are playing, and I am just fucking dead. Like I'm just looking. I'm enjoying the music, but it probably just looks like I'm straight miserable, And at one point, I look at Josh. It was in between bands, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I just got to sit down for a minute because I'm like dragging."
Yep.
So I try to go to the bar, not a seat to be found. They have free water, so I go to put down water and everything like that. I was just like, man, I can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah.
And it's a band that I really like and that I've never seen, and normally when I go to shows, I'm pretty engaged. Like, I'm singing along. I get up front and I have a good time, cut loose a little bit. Not this one. Sometimes I like to be the old man in the back room where you find a good spot to see, you have a good view. People aren't going to be fucking bumping into you, pushing you and shit.
That's always been me. I don't want to get, don't hit me or anything when I'm there for the music or whatever.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I used to be, man.
I know there's nothing wrong with it.
Every show I used to be in the pit, singing, screaming, drinking, like just arms in the air, having a good time. I would have a lot of fun. And then, as I've gotten older and just more and more time.
You ever the frontmen from groups going they look through the audience and they look for the most miserable person, they play to that part that night there's nothing, you were enjoying yourself but you couldn't show it, and I just imagine that poor singer seeing you and going, I gotta make this guy have a good time.
I went to a show with my wife one time to go see a band called Mariana's Trench. Real 80s retro band. They're not from the 80s.
No, I get what you're saying.
But they're from Canada, and they are shitty. Just not my type of tunes. They're very, very poppy, very just high-pitched singing, belting, and all these love ballads and shit like that. And I was up in the front. It was really funny, actually. So we're right up in the front. They can definitely see me.
Yep.
And my wife is to my right. She's singing all the words. She's dancing. She's having a real good time. People are loving every second of it. And then there's me just straight faced looking at this. I'm just like, fuck. I can't even pretend to enjoy this. It's just not my type of music. And if I'm not into it, I'm not into it. And then the guy next to me, same thing. Dead in the face. And he's just like, ugh. And his girlfriend is to the left of him. And she's doing the same thing my wife is doing.
Yep.
And then we look at each other. We're just like, did you get dragged here? And he's like, yeah, man, I sure did. And you can tell, the lead singer looked at us a couple of times, just like, oh, shit,
Yeah, that's...
Can't win them all.
Yep.
And then the guitar player flicked his pick, and it landed right on my shoe. just right on top of it. So
they're really trying for it, man.
Gave it to my wife.
Yeah,
and did not get a special.
Did you not make, like? Did you purposely not make eye contact? Like, just like.
I lifted my foot up and then I grabbed it
with a small amount of finger.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
and I gave it to my wife and
wiped your fingers off on the
chair. I don't want these germs. Oh man, but I know I miss going to shows. I used to go to shows quite a bit.
I really wanted to catch the Built to Spill show on the 11th of April.
Okay,
can go down there.
Yeah, tonight Red City Radio is playing at the Frequency, and the Frequency's closing in June, so this would have been the last show I've ever gone to.
I've never even heard of that venue.
It's right by the Majestic in Madison, so it's right by the Capitol building.
Okay.
The Majestic is a magical place.
Since we're talking about music, I heard this a discussion the other day about the album being dead, and I wanted to see what you think about that because of so much bands
like
don't
physical records.
No, like the order in which you put songs on an album, which is very important to me.
Yeah, I always the way I look at it. Every album needs to have, they would always call it an A side. The first song on the A side's got to be fucking. That's the first thing you hear. It's got to grab you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think it's important, especially. Well, there's still bands that do concept albums. You have to listen to it from beginning to end.
Yeah, and they did say that this was just one guy, and it was a small blurb that I heard, and I've seen it in print. I've seen it. I've heard people talk about it on the radio a few different times, but because of Spotify, because of iTunes and stuff, people get the songs they want. They don't get the whole album.
No.
And even if you do get the whole album, you might not get it in order anyway. And you being someone that music is important to, I listen to albums I don't really listen to online music. I don't even when I search music, I search full albums, and I'll listen to the whole thing because I think there's something to, especially depending upon I guess what you're listening to. But man, there's something to be said about sitting and listening to an album the way it was intended from
start to finish.
But it just was interesting to me because this guy was talking about the money aspect of it. Why waste the money to sit down and have a conversation about as a band and manager and engineer and whatever and producer? Why even spend the money to have that conversation of where on the album should this song go and this song go, because it's not going to be released
that way. There's a tone. Well, yeah, no, I
get the argument, but
I like listening to albums the way that they were. Intended to listen, track listing. The first time I buy an album, I'll listen to the full thing a couple of times.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be songs that I like more than others. So if I'm just going on a quick car ride, I'll click the Spotify in my car. But yeah, same thing. I don't. I'll look up albums. I don't look up. I don't look up, or I'll just look up artists, and then I click on the albums. So I don't skip. I just don't type in a song and then play the song. I type the band, I find the album that song is on, and then I play it and listen to the album. So no, I like listening to it, and I think it's dumb to just go buy singles, in a sense, because
it's kind of insulting to the artist.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times just because it's a single, there's still plenty of songs that are usually better, in my opinion.
You're really depending upon the industry to give you what
they think is best,
and they don't know,
right? And yeah, so it's I guess I get what they're saying, but still, with records being as popular as they are nowadays, vinyls. I have a ton of vinyls, and I'm not going to go when I put it on my record player. I'm definitely not going to go find the new groove for track 3 and play that first. I start at the beginning.
Yeah, yep.
I play till the needle stops. I flip it over. I start from the beginning again. So that's always important to me, and just it gives you the feel of it. It's not just about individual songs. It's how they're grouped together. It's how the emotions that it brings out in you while you're listening to it. It's gonna wanna it wants to touch on different ways in a certain order and a certain formula. I think it's important.
It's interesting when you come across an album where it obviously didn't matter to the band what the order of the songs were.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever really experienced that, to be honest.
I don't think I can't. I'm trying to grab an example.
Maybe like a pop album or something like that. Maybe like I don't think Katy Perry necessarily.
Oh, she slaves over it.
Do you think?
I don't know.
She doesn't even write half her tunes, or probably any of her tunes. Some pop artists do. Lady Gaga writes her own songs. Taylor Swift writes her own songs. You can hand Taylor Swift all you want, but I gain.
I'm pretty sure Katy Perry.
She wrote some. She used to.
Like I don't know much about Katy Perry or anything, but I did happen.
I think she's very good looking.
I actually like her voice.
Yeah, she got a good voice for sure. I like her. I like some of her songs, but I think she wrote like "I Kissed a Girl."
I just know that,
like that
she before she got her image, which I hate her image.
Yeah.
If she went back to who she was before she got
she played
famous,
the Warped Tour. Before she blew up, she was on the Warped Tour.
Yeah, she I think she had like 3 albums or something that she went and she was trying to get made and was having real troubles.
Yeah.
And she definitely did the work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But more work than you would think that she would have to do based on the fact that she's Katy Perry and
yeah.
You would think that everything was just given to her, but she's not that's.
Yeah, no, she's got. I agree with you. She's got a good voice and everything. I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying, like, when people don't write their own music, like Beyonce doesn't really write her own music.
Yeah,
and she's got 18 writers to write what is essentially a 3-sentence song.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not interested in it necessarily. A lot of pop songs I think are pretty catchy, but
I just found out there's Sheryl Crow used to be a songwriter before she did her own stuff.
Megan Trainor,
Paul Simon too.
Do you know who Megan Trainor is? She sings that All About the Bass song.
Okay, yeah.
She wrote that for another artist.
Yeah, and Tom Petty wrote a bunch of songs for other people, but ended up like the song "Don't Come Around Here No More." That was supposed to go to somebody else.
Yeah,
but he liked that beat because I think that was like a Euro pop keyboardist came in and dropped that beat, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I think I got to keep this one." And then he wrote a song for Stevie Nicks for her solo career. They ended up doing it as a duet. A lot of the songs that he wrote for other people, he ended up keeping because they ended up being, they grew on him.
I would be so weird, like, to be a writer. So Justin Bieber used to write his own songs when he first started, when he was just a little kid, but not anymore. There's Ed Sheeran wrote a Justin Bieber song. And could you just imagine, like, you wrote this song and this guy just, like, a person sings it, it gets put through the process, it becomes like a huge hit, whatever, and Justin Bieber is making more money off the song you wrote than you're making off the song that you wrote.
Well, I think that, a lot of those people, that's what they know what they're getting into or whatever.
Yeah.
But, because back in a certain time period, there's a ton of songs written by a very small amount of people that were big songs, and they're given out through labels and whatever to different bands. And I think, like, one of the ones that I was disappointed to hear was the American Idol winner. What was her name?
Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah. Like, I really wanted to believe she wrote her own songs for some reason.
Yeah. She's like, there's not too many American Idol people that you really still see anymore.
They're still doing stuff. There was that one guy,
Ruben Studdard.
Ruben, yeah.
I stopped watching after that. So that was the second season. I watched 2 seasons of American Idol. That's the only
guy I want to know what happened to.
I think he went more soul, like the soul route.
And that's what I heard, is that he's. But I didn't watch any of the seasons. Like, in terms of more than walking through, because my parents would, like, shut down everything for.
I remember it was just like,
don't call, don't cough, don't.
Idol's on. Shut up, kids.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if we ever had that show, like, as a family, that we all just sat down and watched. American Idol, we watched. We did watch as, like, a family unit, but it wasn't like day in, day out type of stuff. I don't know if there was ever that show. And nowadays, like, with my kids, they're still pretty young yet, so I try to get involved in some of the shows that they watch, just so it's something we can all enjoy. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do because some of them are just so damn dumb. But we started watching this cartoon called Gravity Falls. And it's actually pretty cool.
I love Gravity Falls.
I was like,
I am a huge Gravity Falls fan.
I was like, this is a show like I actually like watching because it's paranormal, it's supernatural, it's funny, but it's appropriate for kids too.
Yeah, no, there's Gravity Falls.
It's a good show.
That's some good shit right there.
And
that's like, we grew up with Dexter's Laboratory,
right?
Or Johnny Bravo. Even the Powerpuff Girls I'll still watch today.
Madison really likes the Powerpuff Girls. They used to be on Netflix, but they took it off, unfortunately. And that's a good show too. But it's cool. Madison's starting to get into The Office now. She likes The Office. So even though I've watched The Office 5 times already in its entirety.
I've never seen past season 6.
Really?
Yeah, I was the biggest Office fan up until season 4.
It falls off. It falls, kind of dies down at the end, but it's still good.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's not that I didn't get into it or anything. It's just I don't go back. Once I stop watching a show, it's harder for me to get back into it the second time around, unless it's I can't necessarily say that because I've almost worn out my Seinfeld DVDs and like. I
need to borrow those from you. I'd like to watch them. I think I would enjoy it this time around.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. But I've I don't know. I've watched The Office quite a bit. It's always just my go-to background show.
Yeah, and that's like Seinfeld became that, and then I got the entire series at the pawn shop up in
nice.
Oshkosh.
Yeah.
I got the Larry Sanders Show, which was the same time period, but on HBO or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then that show was like always like my background show, or just like so funny. Those shows and
I've been finally catching up on the Marvel movies. I don't know if you're into those at all. So I just saw Infinity Wars in theaters. Are you into Marvel movies at all? Avenger movies?
Not like I listen to, like, I can say I know what happens in the Infinity Wars because I listened to a podcast that gave all the spoilers.
Oh, that sucks.
That's how much I don't care so much about it.
Well, my problem was Madison wanted to go see it. She wanted to bring her friend, and it's a friend from Madison switched schools this year, like in 3rd grade. So she went to there's a place called Pyre, and then
I know where Pyre is.
And now she doesn't go there. She goes to
Grade 7 set there. Skateboarders in Fond du Lac.
She goes to a different school now. So one of her friends that she's known since kindergarten, and I actually know his parents and everything like that. I went to high school with his parents, so it's a good connection to have. She wanted to go see the Infinity Wars with him. I was like, all right, but I hadn't seen. I've seen the 3 Iron Man movies. I saw the first Avengers movie, and I've seen the first Captain America and the first Thor. And there's been a million movies after that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 as well, and Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man. But I was like, all right, I'll go see it. But it's gonna be. I was like, I'm probably gonna be confused as hell about it. But I really wasn't. Like I didn't.
No, that's the thing that I think.
The plots are simple enough.
They can be their own movie. Like they follow the. That's the great thing about about comic books or like anything with a superhero or in an indie movie or whatever. You don't even know who the protagonist is essentially right away.
Yeah.
So like you have to establish a bunch of stuff, but the characters are established. So then you just input the formula for that movie.
Yeah, more or less.
They follow the hero's journey, and you you're engaged or whatever. But then it also fits into the overall arc of the the Infinity Wars storyline that's going to cover multiple movies and whatever, and then they can go off and do their solo movies.
Yeah.
It's a great concept, and this like in terms of like movie making and making a universe that people can really get engaged with. This is a massive undertaking, and it's.
Well, I think Infinity Wars has racked a shit ton of money. Disney is just making so much money with all the 3 or 4 Star Wars movies they've released since
prequels or whatever.
Since they've consumed Marvel They're making so much money. So
really,
much money.
Who would have thought that Disney had to get their hands on Star Wars for it to get good again? Like,
yeah, I liked The Force Awakens. It was good. And then Rogue One was awesome.
I really liked Rogue One.
Rogue One is probably like my favorite Star Wars movie so far. It's just really good. And then The Last Jedi, meh.
Well, here's the thing about The Last Jedi.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay. I did. It's not that I didn't like it.
The Last Jedi is the original 3 movies condensed into one.
Sure.
It's the exact same stories.
Yeah.
The exact same stories.
For sure.
Except for you take and I actually laid this all out right after I saw it because I got out of the theater and I was like dumbfounded.
Yeah.
That I had talked to so many people about this movie that were Star Wars fans and whatever, and nobody brought up the fact that like it follows the formula of the original 3 Star Wars movies to a T.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Like going off to train and
yeah,
like, and I'd have to rewatch it to get to because I don't remember exactly. I watched the Force Awakens.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, I've only seen these movies all once, except for Rogue One. I watched it a couple times.
Yeah,
and the first time I watched Rogue One, I didn't see the last 10 minutes of it.
Oh, you didn't?
I was like talking to Trevor about it, and I was like, something just felt wrong about that movie, and he's like, well, what did you think of the ending? I was like, I didn't see the ending. I was like, I wasn't able to watch the last 10 minutes. He's like, you got to watch the last 10 minutes, and once I watched the last 10 minutes, the whole movie was just great.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good, but it was cool to see Infinity Wars, and I thought it is one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's amazing. It's so good. And then I went back later the next day and I watched Civil War, which was okay. It was with Iron Man and Captain America kind of go at it. And then I started to watch Thor Ragnarok, so I'm like watching all these movies in reverse order.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I went and saw Batman vs. Superman in the theater.
I'm sorry.
You didn't like that one?
I have it. I watched the director extended cut, and so that's the only one I can base it off of. It's a 3-hour movie, so I don't know what the difference is between that one and the theatrical version. I hear like that one is better than the theatrical version because it ties some loose ends that were cut out.
Yeah.
A little bit. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was somewhat boring at times, but it wasn't a horrible movie. It was good. It was good enough.
Yeah, I don't get into these movies things don't live or die with one movie or whatever.
Right.
For me. But I will say the thing.
I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I do.
I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm not like a comic book. I don't want to. I say nerd as a badge of honor.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm not a comic book nerd.
If you look at all my comics.
Yeah, I was looking at all this stuff.
I got a good amount of Batman stuff.
But the Batman character has always been
appealing.
Like it's just my favorite. The use of it. Like he's not even a superhero. He's just a dude that uses logic and that is his superpower.
Well, originally he was the detective comics. Batman, Bruce Wayne was more of a detective.
Yeah, and that's even how he's portrayed in the video games and all that stuff. It's all made,
I love the video games. I got Arkham games are so fucking fun.
The Telltale one is really cool because
I've never I watched somebody play it on Twitch one time, and it's like more of like, you don't really.
It's a slow-paced game, but it's like a deduction game. You have to put it to. It's like that Sherlock Holmes game. Was I telling you about that?
No, I don't think so.
I have a Sherlock Holmes game that I play, and it's like, everything comes down to like, when a new character is introduced, you have 4 minutes to scan the entire character, find all the clues, figure out what they mean, and then make a character bio.
Okay.
And so then you either get it right or wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And then as you go through the case, you find clues. You go to your clue screen, and it's like there's like a brain in the background, and you put clues. You have to figure out which clues go together to make a deduction, and then you put deductions together to make like and it maps out in like with neurons and stuff in your brain, and then once you get far enough, it's like you come up with a conclusion, and then you decide what to do it. But it's like and the Telltale Batman game is kind of like that, where it's like you have to go and find all the clues in a room and then figure out which ones relate to each other. So it's like it's less fighting, more thought provoking.
There's a Walking Dead ones of those too. A good amount of them. The fuck?
That's my alarm.
I was like, oh shit, the computer's about to blow.
Sorry, it's time to get ready for work.
Yeah, I get up at 10:05.
That's the first of many alarms. I should probably turn them all off. But so like the thing about the Batman vs Superman movie is that, you know, the thing with Superman is like, obviously, you know, kryptonite, which was an actual afterthought. Like here's a character that can't be beat, essentially.
Right.
I liked the way that they did it. It made sense, like the use of the kryptonite gadgets.
Yeah,
it felt very Batman to me, and very like he thought ahead enough to go, all right, I'm gonna get my ass beat, but I need to get my ass beat in this direction and then in this direction to lure him into these traps, and then at a certain point, the battle's going to change, and I'm going to go from being the loser to being the winner or whatever.
Yeah, I've only watched it one time, so maybe I'll give it another shot. But no, I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I really do.
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
Put a mask on him, I guess.
I haven't seen Justice League yet.
But I guess you can't even use that because he really messed up Daredevil. So shouldn't there be a rule that if you I mean, we wouldn't have Deadpool based on this rule, but yeah, if you mess up a superhero movie, you shouldn't get another shot.
I was gonna say Green Lantern fucking sucked.
I was realizing that even I know that Green Lantern was a horrible movie. And, it's like Ryan Reynolds. You've gotten 3 characters now. You know, like cause he was Weapon X in X-Men too, that's the other movies that like.
Which is Deadpool, Weapon X, isn't it?
It's Deadpool, but it's different. You know. But I really like the X-Men as well.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen, like, I've seen.
I didn't get into the whole Days of Future Past stuff.
I only saw the first 2 X-Men movies, and I really want to see Logan. And I feel like I have to watch these other movies to see Logan, and because it looks really amazing. I hear it's really good, so I just got to get caught up. I was in middle school when the second X-Men movie came out.
Yeah, and honestly, like this, Trevor's always like getting down on those movies or whatever, and it's like, I thought they were like, for an X-Men movie it was okay, but for the universe movie it was not. And it's like that was before this is
before Iron Man. This is before
before they decided to integrate everything.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't know if Deadpool is going to get integrated with like the Avengers or anything like that. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. No. But I don't know. I forgot where I was going to go, but yeah, I want to see. There's a bunch of movies I want to see, and the problem is, it's like they're all like strung together in a sense. You feel like you have to watch them in the order that they were released, but it's not the case, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't feel that way. I just, I mean, I'm somebody too that like, I don't care if you ruin a movie for me, unless it's, I mean, if it's a
movie I really want to see, I don't want any spoilers.
If it's like a straight up psychological thriller,
yeah.
Like, then maybe don't tell me the ending of it, but honestly, the journey or the movie itself, I want to see how the character you can tell me the end, but I want to, if it and the ending could be the greatest ending in the world too. I mean, look at what was it, The Mist? Did you ever see The Mist?
The ending sucked,
but that's an amazing, like, it sucked in a way that
you're talking about. It wasn't an M. Night movie, The Mist. The Mist is Stephen King flick.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of The Happening?
I'm thinking of the one where...
Are they in a convenience store, or they got to avoid the wind?
I'm thinking of the one where the dude, where the big things come out of the mist.
Oh, yeah, that's The Mist.
Okay.
And then at the end, he kills all the people except for himself.
6 people, but 5 bullets.
Yeah. And
a beautiful ending to a movie.
Beautiful ending? It's depressing.
But because it's that emotional response that it gives you that makes it such a good ending.
I suppose.
It's like when you hate a character on a game or on a TV show or
you're
on
right.
a movie, you hate him because of how good that character is.
Right.
And so it's like when you are so pissed off that happened in the end of that movie, I was giddy about it. I seriously, I was like, that's...
Walks out of the theater, but everyone's looking down, and you just got this big ass smile.
I was so happy to see an ending, but the movie sucked. The movie,
it wasn't that good of a movie.
The movie was they somebody should have told that guy, you've got something great here. Why don't you put something great in front of it?
That's the problem with a lot of Stephen King flicks. It's really hit or miss. A lot of times, The Shining I thought was really good,
but then Dreamcatcher,
I haven't watched that. I have Dreamcatcher. Shawshank is fucking amazing.
Watch Dreamcatcher once. It's an insane movie.
Is it? Did you like it? Insane isn't it's good. I just remember Duddits.
Yeah,
that's the only person I remember.
The writing is so bad.
Is it?
For Jason Lee's character especially.
Yeah, I like Jason Lee a lot.
I do too. So he got a pass because he could have been a pro skateboarder, and I respect
he was a pro skateboarder.
Did he skate for Static or whatever?
I thought he was for Girl for a while.
He might have gone. I know he was on Static.
I
know he. I saw him in a video with Static. But
okay.
I didn't know if he was because I've always known him as an actor. I didn't know if he was just doing a little cameo or whatever.
No, he skated he was damn competitively good, and professionally for a while, and then he was getting more acting roles. So he went that route, and I'm happy.
Easier on your body, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah.
But
was he in that Bones Brigade doc?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
But so anyway, Dreamcatcher, it's just got this crazy storyline to it, and I'm sure there's somebody out here that
loves it.
That's you don't get it. You guys were on the Flat Earth episode. I listened to that at work last night. I was gonna write stuff down that I wanted to talk. I was I so wish I would have been part of that conversation.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I don't, but I also don't. I don't know if I'm not saying I believe it's round, but what interests me is that to get past the stigma of the fact that we've grown up with it being common knowledge that it's round. There's people that believe that look at the center, the hollow Earth theory, which is there's so many crazy theories like that, and until we go to the center of the Earth. I don't necessarily believe that we have a liquid,
core
or whatever. We don't know these.
Well,
things.
that is a little different because you can't really know, but there's evidence that the world is round.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess to me,
every other planet is round. You look at the moon; it's round. You know what I mean? Why would Earth just be the only flat thing?
Yeah, but if something can be flat and round.
You're right. That's what I was trying to get at that.
Like a frisbee or whatever.
When I was talking about it being
it can even have curvature. And
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I got what you were saying there. I didn't see the drawing of the donut that you were talking about, but
no, there was I can show you the picture. I have it on my phone. The one where it's the quote unquote the edge of the Earth.
Oh no! At one point they said you drew something that would look like a donut, and that was the shape you were trying to explain to them or something. But what was interesting to me is that when they said that gravity is because we're moving up fast.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. I was the weird thing. I had always heard the opposite, and that's that everything is falling at the same speed.
Oh, okay.
So
either or,
we would all because when you drop any two things, it doesn't matter what they weigh or whatever, they go the same speed as long as their aerodynamic speed or whatever. So it's if you just imagine that all the planets are in stars are marbles falling from the sky.
You think you would think you ever hit something on the bottom when you ever hit that floor?
I think that would be
the bottom of the universe.
I think that'd be the equivalent of like dropping an ant from space. You know, like the ant would have many generations of families before it would find out.
Right. You ever see the movie? Was it like Making Friends at the End of the World or something like that with Steve Carell? I forget what it's called. It's a good movie, but it straight up ends with the world ending.
Oh yeah,
that's how it ends. Yeah, meteor crashing into the Earth. I was so worried back in the day when Y2K happened because I was in second grade. And I was like falling into those. I guess you could say those were the first conspiracies that I truly believed in because I was worried that the world was going to end. I was scared because that's what I kept hearing. I was like, the world's going to end. All this Y2K is going to crash these computer systems and everything's going to go berserk. And boy, was I terrified that New Year's Eve. I was scared.
I learned how to kickflip outside, out in the street lamp while it was snowing or something like that.
Look at you.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the next day and everything was the same. I was able to go on the internet and watch music videos. I was like, hell yeah. What a time to be alive.
When you're in second grade, maybe that is the world ending. Not being able to get online for the millennial generation or whatever. Like, I remember thinking with Y2K that maybe it wouldn't be such a bad thing if everything started over at zero.
But they made it seem like the sun was going to get too close to the earth, and
I never heard all that. I just heard the computer stuff. The whole idea that because once they only use the last two digits for the year, so when it resets to 00, it's going to go back to 1900 or whatever. The
computers didn't exist in 1900.
But like based on basic math,
right.
no one had the because computers were invented in the 80s, so they didn't have the wherewithal to think 20 years into the future. Like, of course, we'll all be gone by then.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm surprised the world's still standing sometimes.
Honestly,
I'm waiting for the day that I walk outside and there's the mushroom cloud.
Yeah,
and then it's just honestly, a countdown from there.
I think it's more going to be, and you know what's crazy?
Humans are going to make humans extinct.
Well, I up until recently, I was the complete opposite of this, but the water is what's going to be.
For sure.
Because I was I went to school for water treatment, and I looked into I took a lot of
Did you ever go through the water treatment plant here in town?
Yeah, I did.
Conveniently located next to our big park.
What?
It's right by Lakeside, the water treatment facility.
It's because we dump it into the lake.
Oh, really? That's gross.
We put cleaner water in the lake than what's in the lake.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think it's weird. You look, you're taking.
It was weirder when they had the old systems in place, and people would literally jump the fence and go ride down the trickling filter system in its shit water, and then also they would put the solid waste material into
shit sliding today, boys.
They'd put the solids in a pit and just let it dry bake in the sun.
Oh god,
that was the old way to do it. They just dig a hole and put the shit in there, and not cover it.
It's just dry. Weird. You're pushing your kid on the swing, and then you look away into the distance, and they're like, oh, that's where all of our shit goes.
I think of that little the nice little thing that they built out on right by the river there, and it's you can walk up there and there's railings to look, and then the discharge is right there.
Yeah.
And when that discharges, it's discharging all of our shit water into the lake. Let's go hang out right there. That's a scenic spot.
Yeah.
Benches.
Oh
there,
yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah.
You
bring your first date there, and
yeah, right.
And then you just look into her eyes. You push her hair back, and you go, "You see, we've already been together once before. This is where our fecal matter has once met and intertwined."
And then a southern wind. So you wipe some off your face.
It brings an odor to them. It goes, who knows what that is right now? It's our fluids crossing paths. Would you like to go to my place and exchange some more fluids, if you know what I mean? And she looks back at him and just goes, yes, I would.
And that's
the story of how babies are made.
Yeah.
You know, it's starts with one smell, ends with another. The world comes full circle.
You have some interesting views on romantic relationship, Drew. I appreciate it.
Maybe it's just because I've been in a relationship for a while now. 7 years I've been with my wife. Been married for 5, but with her for 7. Which for me, it's a long time.
Yeah, that's...
For a lot of people, it's a long time.
Yeah, 7 years. You've already become a new person, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely different from where I was.
Speaking of which, like, so based on the fact that, like, I, studied water and all this stuff, like, my opinion on the matter was, like, water's not going anywhere. We've been drinking the same water. We're drinking dinosaur piss. Like, we've been drinking the same water. It keeps going through the system.
Yeah.
It's been here for trillions of years or whatever, billions of years. It's not going anywhere, but it's going somewhere.
No, yeah, I believe. Yeah, and, I mean, look at Flint, man.
Yeah, well, Flint's not even
the pipes.
Here's the thing about that, like, Flint is this big, like, story, national news, when the real story is in California. Like, Kent County, they had at least 1 million people, residents with no water. But
the drought, yeah.
But they sit on top of the biggest state-funded aquifer that was turned into an emergency water reservoir. So they basically retrofitted an empty aquifer so that they could pump water into it for emergency systems. Well, the guy who owns Wonderful Pistachios and whatever else that company Wonderful.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He bought up 85% of Kent County that sits over that aquifer. Well, in order for them to use that aquifer, they need to have that percentage of the people that live on top of it okay it, and he won't okay it unless they give him 90% of the water.
What a dick.
Even though it's I mean, my percentages are a little off, I'm sure.
Right.
But it's like, basically back in the 70s, the taxpayers in the state paid millions of dollars to retrofit that aquifer so that when it happened, when there were droughts, they would have this big aquifer there.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the people living above that aquifer, they have no water. Like, literally, they have no water in their houses. They have to get bottled water and take their...
bathe in it.
It's ridiculous. And then the other thing is that there's a land grab going on right now all over the place in terms of groundwater, because there's not really much regulation on it. So companies like that dude's company, they're just buying land, as much land as they can over aquifers, and putting as many pumps as they can, pumping as much water as they can, until the state goes, we need to regulate this. And when you look at places in California, the ground has dropped 10 feet, and all the sidewalks are cracked, the parking lots are broken away, and pipes are sticking out, and that's an interesting story. There's a documentary on Netflix about it.
The Shape of Water.
No, I don't think that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
That's a whole different documentary. I think that's down in...
it's about Aquaman, right?
I think that's where he came from, yeah.
A girl fucks Aquaman.
No, I think that Aquaman is the result of that movie.
Very well could be. Half human, half mermaid.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm glad.
Who would have known The Shape of Water should have had a Marvel or a DC?
Stan Lee. Or Stan Lee's cameo in this.
Yeah, right.
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong universe.
That's where I get a little,
Aquaman's DC.
That's like, when you think of...
Where's Bob Kane?
Well, like, playing those Batman games, I started the second one now, Return to Arkham City. And, because you played those, didn't you?
Yeah. Arkham City?
Yeah.
Oh, you're playing that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I did Arkham Asylum, and...
now you're doing Arkham City.
And now I'm doing the second one.
And then there's Arkham Origin, and then there's Arkham Knight.
Which I have Arkham Knight. I don't have Arkham Origin.
Arkham Knight is awesome.
I played 3% of that, and then I went back and bought the first two, because I didn't realize that it was the third one. I wasn't a gamer when these came out, so I don't know.
They're good, man. And do all the side missions are always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Except for you're fucking crazy and did. So what happens when you get all the Riddler trophies in Arkham?
Okay, now this
Arkham
is what really makes me angry because I was
because the end of Arkham Knight, you don't get that. You don't get the legit full ending until you beat the game, all the missions 100%.
Yeah.
So that includes
the Riddler
ones.
Yep.
So
which honestly, the Riddler challenges in the second one much harder.
Yeah. And there's like 250 of them,
and they're all over the place.
I don't got time for that.
Yeah, when you turn on your detective mode, there's just freaking question marks all over the guy, and then you got to get him as Catwoman too.
Yeah. Or shit.
But yeah, this game, like I can tell you right now, I don't think I'm gonna grind that out on this game.
No, I never will.
And the thing is like
just YouTube the ending.
I like the first one because I really do like games that are not. You give me an open world and I just run back and forth.
Right.
I'm very like what's
adventurous. You explore.
No, I'm not even that. It's just that I'm very inefficient.
Sure.
Like where I jump from like this mission to this mission, which are
I've done that too.
Completely opposite sides of the map,
right.
And then I got to go all the way back, and then I get like, all right, I'm done running for today. I'm not even running. I'm sitting on a fucking couch.
Yeah,
but I still like I'm just like
you're just exhausted.
I can only hit the freaking right bumper and grapple fucking so many times.
Yeah.
Like, and watch it and that's what happened with Syndicate for Assassin's Creed. I got really into that game, but then it was like. I would get turned around and do some side thing, and then like
that's what I was with the Infamous games.
I know those games,
fucking awesome. It's PlayStation.
Okay.
But they're really fun, and I have Infamous Second Son on PS4. I've played all the other ones too, and it's the same concept. Like they have all these side missions, so then you go and you won't even realize you're like, oh shit, like I'm only like 20% of the done in the main storyline because I've been playing for 4 hours just doing nothing but side missions.
Yeah, and like honestly, to me, the Arkham Asylum, that was like a perfect game.
It's fun
because it perfectly meshed the storyline with the Riddler challenges. With like it maybe could have had like obviously there's no perfect or whatever because there's so many different genres. And
or is there?
Yeah, that's true. I think it's buried out in the desert somewhere.
Yeah. I went to my sister's today and she was watching Gotham, like the 4th season. And I've only seen the first episode.
I did see the first season of that show.
I've only seen the pilot. That's the only one I've ever seen. And I'm kind of glad I stopped there because I was watching it, this fourth season episode, and I was just like, you have the Joker with Scarecrow, with the Penguin, with Mr. Freeze, with all these fucking villains in the Batman world, but Bruce Wayne's like 15.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this doesn't... And like, my sister was laughing at me. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I was like, the Penguin's supposed to be an old man. Like, I was like, but he shouldn't be the same age as the Joker. Because they're not the same age.
Yeah, and they had to take liberties. It's a CW show.
It's bullshit. I don't like it.
It
makes me mad.
Like...
it's a Fox show.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like... I watched the first season of it, and it had its own. Like based on if you forgot everything you knew about Batman,
right?
And the comics, and like like
the Joker's name is Jerome.
Like they did some really poor stuff with some of it, and I was happy for the actors that they got a job that
right.
Along
right. But, and he seemed like he does an okay job at the Joker. He kind of pulls a.
I don't know. I didn't see anything with the Joker.
Oh, so. He's not a bad Joker. He seems like.
But it's like
more of a Heath Ledger ripoff.
The Riddler is like.
The Riddler's in it.
Yeah, he's in it from season 1.
And I like the Riddler as a character. I wish there was a Batman movie besides Batman Forever that focused on the Riddler.
I feel like you're dissing on Jim Carrey's Riddler.
I'm not. That movie's not good.
Listeners, comment on this podcast and tell me what you think. Go back, listen.
That movie's not good though.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
I thought you did okay as Two-Face.
And Val Kilmer.
I don't. That's
he's not
bad.
He's not the best He's not the worst Batman. I'd say George Clooney is almost the worst Batman. I didn't like Michael Keaton as Batman.
I didn't. I've never really been a big Michael Keaton fan, and people
He's good in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, people would see now that's a role that he fits well and did well with.
He was good. He was good in the new Spider-Man movie, Homecoming. He plays the villain. It's good,
and that's great.
Yeah,
but
I'm not a big Michael Keaton fan, though.
Yeah, and there's people that would really debate us on that, and it's like that's your childhood. You're looking back to the heydays of your youth or whatever, and that's when that Batman came out. Like
our childhood Batman really wouldn't be until we were adults, and it would be Christian Bale. That's like the go-to. That's like the Batman I think about, because otherwise it's Val Kilmer, George Clooney. That's it.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Well, yeah, the cartoons. Was it Kevin Conroy, something like that? He does the voice of all.
Which I will say, I was just looking at on Amazon or something. Not on Amazon, on the Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the one, like the newer Batman movies was like $5 or something, but the Batman cartoon movie was like $26.
Oh, really?
I was like, I don't understand.
I have an animated. I have. They made The Killing Joke. Which is a Batman comic, a pretty like popular one, and they made that into an animated movie with.
I think that was one of them.
Mark Hamill. That's fairly new.
Yeah, maybe that's why it was so expensive. But I was
Mark Hamill voices the Joker, which he voices the Joker in the games. I mean, he's so fucking good as the Joker.
Yeah,
like the voice and everything. I love it. But I gotta catch the Justice League and see what I think of that, and hopefully they continue it. But I don't know. Batman, DC's been bombing, unfortunately.
Yeah,
not as good as the Marvel movies.
And I don't know what it is about that, because like
they're just trying to keep up. I think they're just too worried about them staying on pace with the Marvel movies. But you have to think, like, these Marvel movies, it's taken 10 years to get there. You know, the first Iron Man movie came out over 10 years ago. Yeah, and it's taken a long time to build where they're at.
They are trying to jump to the Justice League way too quickly. They're not establishing characters.
They should have done. They did the Wonder Woman movie. They did Batman. They did Man of Steel, which is the Superman movie. Yeah. They did Batman vs Superman, which is fine. And then they did like Suicide Squad, which is cool too. I liked Suicide Squad. I thought it was good. But they need to do a standalone Batman movie, a standalone Aquaman movie, which those are coming. They should do a standalone Flash movie, I would think. I don't know.
I think the thing is like when you look back on these characters, and this is what I was going to say before, because one of the cool things about the Riddler trophies in that Arkham game, is when you get you get all the character bios, and so they hide the trophies in certain places, and then like based on that place, it's like, oh, you get the rat catcher character bio, villain bio, and like what, like the drawing from the comic book, and then they tell what comic, like what year they were introduced and all that. What issue they were.
I remember that.
So that was one of the cool things, but at the same time, it was just like some of the villains were so ridiculous. Yeah. And some of the superheroes that we have are so we grew up with are Aquaman alone is kind of a ridiculous character.
Right. And even just a dude that talks to fish.
Even the Flash, like, you run really fast. Like, I get it.
It's a superpower, yeah.
It's a superpower, and but really, what happens if you need to, the guys at the end of the block, like, you're gonna overrun. Zoom. Yeah, you're gonna overrun them. You can't even stop that fast. You got to go around the planet just to go a block. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's pretty funny.
But and then like obviously you have like these like patriotic like Captain America and the Captain Marvel, and like,
that's gonna be a good movie.
But even Superman, like, when you think of the Man of Steel movies, like the original Batman or the original Superman movies, they're kind of boring movies at times.
Yeah,
they're like, Superman is too good. you need your protagonist like to go through the hero's journey. He has to be downtrodden, and he has to learn and come back and beat the villain that beat his ass first. Like, so when you have somebody like Superman, who it's like, if nobody has kryptonite, then the movie is really done already.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But well, we'll see what happens in the future with the movies, and maybe we can meet again once some are released, and we'll be like, maybe we'll just be the greatest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is in terms of if you want a full immersion into your movie watching experiences, now's the time to live. Because not only can you do you have universes of so movies like 3 or 4 movies a year that are in these universes. Mm-hmm. So you're constantly getting new stuff. There's video games that fit in with them. There's TV
comic
shows.
books.
There's then the comic books also. It's like
yeah, it's a good time to be alive.
Yeah,
or to barely be alive, as Arms Aloft would say. Good band. Listen to it. Well, yeah, let's talk about this brew that we drank, or you didn't drink.
I forgot to drink. I was so encapsulated by our conversation.
Good conversation. It's been an hour and 10 minutes already. I mean, can you believe it? Time flies.
Yeah, and I'm awake now.
Yeah, me too. I was fucking dragging before this. Like, I told you to just, when I text you to text me when you're coming over, I was like, because I'm going to like catch some Z's real quick.
No, I do that too. I found that my cousin Jim can't do that with him because he just doesn't show up, and then you sleep. Like, I'll end up sleeping through everything I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, it's.
But otherwise, I'm a fan of using that as like, you coming here is going to be my alarm, so the door's open.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. But Brewery Vivant, the strawberry rhubarb sour from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Is that in the UP, or is that's in the?
No, I think Grand Rapids is in the UP.
Is it?
I believe.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. So it's a Youper beer. And for those of you that don't know how Youpers talk,
that's not it.
It's that's not it, but it's unique.
It is. Yes, it's
like
very
they
unique.
have. If you think the Wisconsin accent is bad, which I personally hate the Midwest Wisconsin accent, I don't think I have it, but I might.
I couldn't tell you because I live here.
Right. But you can tell.
You don't sound like you have an accent to me, so that's a bad sign.
That's true. But you can tell when somebody's from the UP.
Yeah.
When you're in Wisconsin, they just drawl. It's
Minnesota has a bad, like upper Minnesota or whatever.
Want to come get a pop? I know I can't even do it.
But
don't you know? You like to come on drink a pop.
Like, apparently a dead giveaway for Wisconsin, though, is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In any form, just the YA.
I don't know if I say yeah. I say opes. That's another one. That's like a Midwest thing, I think. Or
opes?
Opes. Like when you like bump into opes. Like
oops.
You say opes, though. I say a lot.
That sounds like a millennial bullshit play on.
No. You never heard someone say opes?
No, that's your guys.
Oh, or ope. Like you like bump into someone. Ope.
No, you guys are trying to. You guys trying to be cool.
You're full of shit. that's not it. But anyways, would you say drink it or dump it? I said drink it. I finished mine.
I just literally was not thinking of drinking.
That's all good. No, I thought it was good. I actually really enjoyed it. I like the sour ales. It's a nice change of pace.
I couldn't drink a lot of it.
And I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to enjoy your glass or the one bottle, and
yeah.
I think that's really about it. But
I wonder what this is matched with for food wise or whatever.
I don't know. Like the stouts are like you're supposed to match like a real dark beer with like barbecue and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not. I really don't know what it was supposed to be matched with. Gummy, that would be too much. That'd be tart
yeah.
Sweetness overload. But yeah, I definitely say drink it. It was good. I liked it a lot. So yeah, Rob, thanks for doing. You thought you were never going to be on an episode again.
Yeah, I thought I ruined it last time.
Well, they don't know what you're talking about because no one will ever know.
Yeah,
except for you would be. It's a secret.
It was a great conversation.
It was a good one.
I crossed some lines.
Till next time.
Yeah.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.